हर्षा का अगर बात करें, ठीक है, तो हर्षा वाज हैविंग मेनी कंटेम्पररीज, लाइक वी हैव द मेत्रिकास, दे वर कंट्रोलिंग द एरिया ऑफ गुजरात, सौराष्ट्र रीजन, वो उनके अंडर कंट्रोल में था, एंड द कैपिटल वाज वल्लभी. देन वी हैव मौखरीज, दे वर रूलिंग ओवर द एरिया ऑफ कन्नौज, वाज अंडर द कंट्रोल ऑफ मौखरीज. Vakatakas, okay, as we already know, they were controlling the Deccan area. Pushyabhuti dynasty, again this was the dynasty of Harshvardhana itself. And Harshvardhana's rise, है ना, major reasons क्या है हर्षवर्धना के rise के लिए? तो 3-4 reason है. This is what you need to remember. This is the area of Maitrikas, Vallabhi. This is the area of Pushyabhuti with that capital at Thanesar. Kannauj was under the control of Maukhris, and eventually this was the area under the control of the Vakatakas. Anyway, this is how they were able to improve some. Sources क्या क्या है? बाणभट्ट हर्षचरिता, हुनसेंग्स सीयूकी, है ना, फोकोकी इट वाज टू फायर, हुनसेंग इज सीयूकी. एपिग्राफी, बहुत सारे इंस्क्रिप्शन है, मधुबन कॉपर प्लेट इंस्क्रिप्शन, सोनेपत, बांसखेड़ा, नालंदा, एज वेल एज एहोल. एहोल टॉक्स अबाउट मोस्टली मिलिट्री हिस्ट्री वेयर ही गॉट डिफीटेड बाय yes whom Pulkesin second. Pushyabhuti, he was the founder of the dynasty, okay, he was a military general under Imperial Guptas, and then eventually he rose to power, and that's how he became strong. Then the major rise of this dynasty, it starts under Prabhakar Vardhana, and he was the father of Harshvardhana. Prabhakar Vardhana had three siblings eventually, okay. Then we see Rajyavardhan, then we have Harshvardhan and Rajyashri. These three were the one. As we know, with the period of time, first of all the Rajyavardhan, he was defeated and killed. Eventually Harshvardhana came to power. Rajyavardhana, he was having the marriage linkages with that of the Maukhri. So Rajshri, she was married to Grihavarman, and but Grihavarman again, he was killed, and this is how the whole complex picture came into. And that's why a kind of decision was to be taken. Harsha had to take the bold step, and eventually he merged both the kingdoms, so both Thanesar as well as Kannauj. This is how he comes to power. Power में आ गए, उसके बाद आगे चलते हैं. 606 is his accession. Hardly he was 17 years old. He is going to rule for next 41 years. 647 तक इनका रूल चलने वाला है, ठीक है. इनमें काफी स्टोरीज दी हुई है कि राजश्री, his sister, eventually she converted to Buddhism, and through that eventually he also converted to Buddhism. So both Rajashri as well as Hunseng, both of them, they have played an important role in his shifting towards Buddhism. According to Banabhat, he was a very big empire builder. Shashanka was the one of the major enemy, because he was the one who was responsible for the killing of his brother as well as his brother-in-law. Okay, दोनों के responsible था. Maitrikas of Vallabhi, Gujarat of Bharuch region, Chalukya in Pulkesin second, and the rulers of Sindh, Nepal and Kashmir. So he says that ultimatum was sent to many of them. Okay, and one thing which is very clear, we do not know exactly if he was able to take revenge from Shashanka or not. In fact, जब भी हम inscriptions देखते हैं, he was not able to defeat, and in fact even Banabhatta doesn't mention anything about it. He was able to defeat or not. तो शशांक के बारे में जो पूरा जो fight है, we do not know the end of it. Mostly we know Shashanka died, and then only he was able to capture the area of Bengal. That's what we know. He seemed to have successfully subjugated Gauda Empire, including Magda, Gauda as well as Pongada, only after death of Shashanka. So that is something which we hear. Pulkesin second, again, as all of us know, Harsha was trying to increase his area to the south of the Narmada river. He was eventually defeated. An extent we have already seen through the map. Administration. So even though some people say he was having centralized administration, but it doesn't seem so. Even Guptas were not having centralized administration. So his administration was mostly also of a kind of makeshift arrangement where the feudal lords may have a very high level of power, and he was just a kind of king above them. Okay, so the system of Mahasamantas could have started from his time. Various officials were there like Avanti, Simhananda, Kuntala, Skandagupt, okay, Banu. All of these were the various officials with different. But देखो इनके एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन पे यूपीएससी क्वेश्चन पूछती नहीं है इतना. सो आई वुड से गिव फर्स्ट प्रायोरिटी टू मौर्य, सेकंड प्रायोरिटी टू गुप्तास. एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन में हमेशा उन्हीं से ज्यादा क्वेश्चन आएगा. और साउथ इंडिया, ओके, साउथ इंडिया में पल्लवास और चालुक्यास, उनके ऊपर क्वेश्चन आने के चांसेस ज्यादा हैं. इनके ऊपर एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन के ऊपर ज्यादा क्वेश्चन आते नहीं. रट्टाफिकेशन कर सकते हो तो कर लो. लाइक अवंती वाज द मिनिस्टर ऑफ फॉरेन रिलेशन, सिमहानंदा वाज द कमांडर इन चीफ, कुंतला वाज द chief cavalry officer. This is how we see various officials were there. Okay, revenue administration, it was divided like Bhag, Hiranya and Bali. These were three kind of taxes. Bhag was more a kind of land tax, Hiranya was a kind of tax paid of farmer, merchant and cash, and we do not see any specific reference कि भाई बलि का meaning क्या था. It could have been a irregular kind of text कि जब मौका मिला ले लिया. Then the crown land was divided into 4 parts for carrying out the affairs of state, for paying the ministers, rewarding men of letters, or for charity to religious institution. In fact, उनका character ऐसा ही है कि he pays a lot of time, okay, of giving everything back to the society. Types of administration of justice. Banishment means sending people outside the area of the empire itself. Cutting of limbs, which we have seen from the previous traveler itself. Life imprisonment. Hun Sen also talks about it. Hun Sen, he comes during this time. He says that in general जो इनका administration था, it was not very strong, because law and order के कुछ तो चीजें हुन सेंग ने भी देख लिया था. इनफैक्ट हुन सेंग he was captured by some of the rebels, okay, उनको उल्टा लटका रखा था. तो उसमें बोला था कि when I was upside down, I was just doing meditation on the Maitreya Buddha, है ना, कि बुद्धा के मुझे बचाएगा. Why Maitreya Buddha? Because Maitreya is the Buddha of the future, जो आने वाला है अभी. That is what he has written about. He also shows that perfect law and order prevailed. एक जगह लिखते हैं perfect law and order, बाद में लिखते हैं कि मेरे को चोरी कर लिया, मेरे यहाँ से सामान चोरी हो गया, एक बार मुझे उल्टा लटका दिया. So all those things are mentioned. It shows that law and order was not that much sorted during the time of Harsha. Army, elephant, cavalry, infantry, वही same तीन चीजें चलती हैं. Divisions, if we see empire, so Bhukti word has continued from the Guptas itself. Bhukti was again divided into Vishya, then Vishya were divided into Pathaka. Now this is a new term which is known as Pathaka. Then Pathakas were divided into villages. This is how the division of the empire used to be. Each area was subdivided into various villages. Titles were given to these people, and it include Bhogapati, Ayukta, as well as the other Pratapalka Purusha. Cities and towns, they had developed, but if we see the Marxist historiography, they say by the time of Harshvardhana we see complete decline of cities, but we do not know exactly to what extent this was true or untrue, क्योंकि साउथ इंडिया में तो ऐसा कोई सिचुएशन था नहीं. दिस इज मोस्टली अबाउट नॉर्थ इंडिया. नॉर्थ इंडिया में भी सी cities like Patliputra, who were capitals for thousands of years, now they lost their prominence, but at the same time we see new capitals emerging like Kannauj. Kannauj was a very flourishing city, natural, because it was hosting the capital administration of one of the most important empire itself. तो कुछ का राइज होगा, कुछ का डिक्लाइन होगा. तो ये मिक्स बैग है हमारा, ठीक है. Hun Sen, as we have already seen, he spent a lot of time in Nalanda University, लगभग 5 साल के लिए यहाँ पे रहे, and with the help of that eventually he jotted down all the important teachings of the Buddhism, and then eventually he went back. इनको Prince of Pilgrimage भी बोलते हैं, because he went to various parts of India, है ना, went even all the way up to Sri Lanka, because Sri Lanka was also a center of Buddhism, and that's how he came to know about it. Initially, if we see Harshvardhana, he was a worshipper of Shiva. Thereafter, he shifted to Buddhism. So this is a kind of same kind of change which we see in the personality of Ashoka also. Ashoka was a follower of Shaivism, then he shifted to Buddhism. That's why बहुत बार हम compare भी करते हैं that Harshvardhana was having the qualities of both Ashoka as well as Samudragupta, because he was an empire builder. He was not somebody like Ashoka who was following the policy of Dhamma Ghosha, है ना. तो उनकी तरह empire भी build कर रहे थे, but at the same time if it is religious quality, so he was also somebody who shifted from Shaivism to Buddhism. That is something which is common to both of them. Subscribe to Mahayana school of Buddhism. Okay, assembly at Kannauj was run by many kings, and this is something which is very important. Why? Because he just gave away whatever he used to earn in 5 years, वो उसको महामोक्ष परिषद में दान कर देते. This is what we have heard, but we do not know exactly. State तो इस तरीके से नहीं चल सकती. पर्सनल फाइनेंस कर देते होंगे, स्टेट का पूरा फाइनेंस कर देंगे तो कहानी खत्म हो जाएगी. वी डू नॉट नो एग्जैक्टली व्हाट वाज द डिफरेंशिएशन बिटवीन द स्टेट्स रेवेन्यू एंड हिज ओन पर्सनल एक्सपेंडिचर. वी डू नॉट नो एग्जैक्टली अबाउट दैट. महामोक्ष परिषद प्रयाग में आती थी. फ्रीडम ऑफ वर्शिप वाज देयर इन हिज एम्पायर, एज सच देयर वाज नो रिस्ट्रिक्शन. कास्ट सिस्टम कंप्लीटली सेम कंटिन्यूड. इन फैक्ट मोर रिजिडिटी हैड केम इनटू दिस विद द पीरियड ऑफ टाइम. देखो हर बार क्या होगा, वर्ना सिस्टम मोर कॉम्प्लेक्स होता चला जाएगा. व्हाट वाज द रीजन फॉर दैट? इंटरकास्ट marriages which are going to continue, and the moment we see invasions from outside, it's going to become even more complex. Okay, and since by his time what do we see? We see a decline of secondary economic activities. So the status of Vaishya is going to decline, while that of Shudra started going to rise, because they were now allowed to participate in agriculture. तो बहुत छोटे छोटे changes होंगे इस टाइम पे जो हमें याद करने. Status of women, again the phase of decline becomes very humongously. Parda system comes into picture. Like we see Sati as a tradition starts from the Guptas. We have the famous Iran inscription, but here it becomes an established tradition, at least in the higher families who are the ruling families. तो यहाँ पे हमें मिल जाता है. लाइफस्टाइल इट्स मोर लाइक सेम के. डाइटरी हैबिट्स, अब ये सब हुनसैंग ने लिखा है, मेनली वेजिटेरियन एक्सेट्रा, दे डोंट यूज ऑनियन गार्लिक एक्सेट्रा, वो सेम वही कहानी है जो फायन लिख के जाते हैं वही हुनसैंग भी लिख के जाते हैं. परफेक्ट सोसाइटी, बुद्धिस्ट सोसाइटी, दैट्स व्हाट दे आर ट्राइंग टू पिक्चर सो दैट चाइनीज कैन accept it. Education, monasteries were very important. Okay, temples, they remain important with respect to the dissemination of knowledge, and at the same time monasteries like Nalanda, Vikramshila, all those monasteries, they're going to remain important. Vikramshila will come a bit later, but Nalanda remains the most important monastery. And even Vallabhi was very important center of learning. तो universities की जब बात करते हैं तो तीन जो सबसे मेजर आती हैं, Nalanda, then your Vallabhi, and finally your Vikramshila, which will come a bit later under the Palas. Patron of art and architecture, so he himself was a prolific writer. पता नहीं नाम सिर्फ नाम लिखा है, जैसे होता है ना कि मोदी जी के द हिंदू में आता है वो, है ना, मोदी जी का पूरा एक पेज का, अब लेकिन खुद जब भाषण देते तब वैसे अंग्रेजी नहीं आती. So what does that tell you? किसी और ने लिखा है, सिर्फ नाम लिखा है या फिर खुद से कंपोज किया, we do not know. But anyway, these three texts are subscribed to him: Priyadashika, Ratnavali, and Nagananda. Rest we already know that Bana Bhatt, he has written Harshcharita. Okay. Nalanda University, like Shilabhadra, he was a famous Buddhist scholar during this time, and he was the one who initiated Hunseng into Buddhism. तो इसलिए शिलाभद्र का आप नाम याद रखेंगे during this time. Nalanda was a very prominent university at that time. It is often said it could house how many students? 10,000. आज भी नहीं होगी किसी कैपेसिटी 10,000 की, पता नहीं उस टाइम कितना बड़ा था, but anyway. And this is the final timeline of this period which we have discussed. Okay, like we see after Chandragupta, rise of Chalukyas and Pallavas, Harshvardhana, king of Kannauj के बाद हमारा Chinese pilgrim Hunseng comes in search of Buddhist texts, and finally by 712 we see the rise of Arabs, and Arabs will be able to capture the area of Sindh. Who was the ruler at that point of time? Dahir, he was the ruler. He will be brought down in the battle of Aror, and Brahmanabad, which was the capital of these people, was destroyed. The Arabs will stay for next 40-50 years majorly, and then they are going to evacuate it. And this was done by whom? Who was the main personality who came to charge these Arabs? Muhammad bin Qasim. So Qasim will come, but Qasim will die within few years. Okay, so that's why major expansion could not happen. The epicenter of India's polity was Kannauj, and they were fighting in the area of Sindh. So Sindh was not the epicenter of polity. That's why the Arabs could not make a major kind of political impact. Okay, while if we see after the Harshvardhana, we see the rise of these three important kingdoms, Pratiharas, Palas, and Pallavas. These are the one which we see the rise, and as a result of this, we see a tripartite struggle. In fact, this struggle is very important for Indian history. And what is the reason for that? The major reason is that had these people not fought among themselves, they could have easily defeated the outsider. But since they were fighting among themselves, that gave a leeway to the outsiders, and we see the rise of various important invaders, which include the foremost Mahmud of Ghazni, which raided India how many times? Around 17 times. है ना, 25-26 साल में 17 बार उन्होंने रेड किया. He had taken an oath, I will raid India every time. है ना, तो ठीक है, फिर भी कम रह गया थोड़ा, 17 time, but infamous because naturally he was always about money. He was about plundering. Doesn't matter if it is religiously important to the people of the land. Like if we see the most famous temple of the Hindus, which is Shiva, Somnath temple, this was raided by him. After him, there was a lull period of 150 years. During the same phase, we see the rise of large number of Rajputs, but the Rajputs are going to fight among themselves, and eventually the main beneficiary of such kind of a political setup again will be Muhammad Ghori. Initially he was defeated, but then eventually he fought and won in the second battle of Tarain, which will change the overall rule of India, and now we are going to have Muslim rulers, and these are not going to be from the fringe land like that of the Arabs. It is not like Sindh. Once they will come, they are going to capture bit by bit the whole land of India, and the major role will be played by Qutbuddin Aibak, who will start his own dynasty, which is known as slave dynasty. तो फिर वहाँ से कहानी बिल्कुल shift हो जाती है. So on Monday we are going to have the answer writing, and then eventually we'll shift towards medieval. ठीक है, अभी के लिए आप इसको रिवाइज करिए. आज के लिए इतना ही करते हैं. ठीक है, PPT अपलोड हो जाएगी, तो आप पढ़ लीजिए, ठीक है. That's it for today.
Hi, a very good evening to all of you. I'm Vikas Elawat. I'm a former civil servant. I was able to crack UPSC twice. In fact, in 2018, I was able to get highest marks in history optional, and they were around 324. So this year, I'm coming up with a series which I'm calling Self-Study History Optional. इस series में 100 से ज़्यादा वीडियो होने वाले हैं, which are going to cover the different nuances of ancient, medieval, modern as well as world history. So those of you who are preparing for 2025, register करिए and try to get the maximum out of this specific initiative of ours. So at Prep Career IAS, we are producing results from last many years. 2023 में बहुत सारे टॉपर्स हमारे इंस्टीट्यूट से थे. 2022, 21 हर साल बहुत अच्छे टॉपर्स यहाँ से निकले हैं. And they have been able to get very good marks in history optional. So those of you who are thinking कि यार start करके कितना कर पाएंगे कितना नहीं कर पाएंगे, we already have achievements with us. I was able to achieve, my students are achieving, and you can be the next. इन सेशंस में क्या होने वाला है? नंबर 1, विल बी फोकसिंग ऑन फाउंडेशन ऑफ बेसिक कंसेप्ट्स स्टार्टिंग फ्रॉम व्हाट इज हिस्ट्री, व्हाट इज हिस्टोरिकल पीरियड, व्हाट इज प्रोटो हिस्ट्री, व्हाट इज प्री हिस्ट्री, बेसिक लेवल. ओके. सेकंड, अलाइनमेंट विद यूपीएससी सिलेबस. जितना भी हिस्ट्री ऑप्शनल का सिलेबस है वो 51 पार्ट्स में डिवाइडेड है. सो वी आर गोइंग टू अलाइन ईच एंड एवरी कंसेप्ट विद द सिलेबस इटसेल्फ. नंबर 3, वी आर गोइंग टू फोकस ऑन आंसर राइटिंग. ऑल ऑफ यू नो कि जो मेंस है वो ऑब्जेक्टिव नहीं होता है, वो सब्जेक्टिव लेवल पे होता है, और आप सब लोगों को आंसर राइटिंग सीखना शुरू करना पड़ेगा, है ना. वी डू नॉट हैव टू मच ऑफ टाइम, तो स्टार्टिंग से ही आंसर राइटिंग शुरू करेंगे. एंड नंबर 4, द ओवरऑल पैकेज इज़ वेरी हॉलिस्टिक इन नेचर. तो अगर आप इसको अच्छे से कर लेते हैं तो जो बेसिक लेवल फाउंडेशन हिस्ट्री ऑप्शनल की वो कंप्लीट हो जाएगी. यू आर गोइंग टू गेट मैनी इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग्स अलॉन्ग विद दिस. ओके. 100+ सेशन है, चारों पार्ट कवर होंगे. थीम वाइज सेग्रीगेटेड डायग्राम, फ्लो चार्ट, जितने भी इंपॉर्टेंट एनसीईआरटीज हैं. देखो अगर हम सारी एनसीईआरटीज को कंबाइन कर दें, एंशिएंट, मिडिवल, मॉडर्न वर्ल्ड ऑफ वेरियस बोर्ड्स ऑफ इंडिया, तो 25 से 26 एनसीईआरटी निकल के आती हैं. उन सबको हमने कोहेरेंट फॉर्म में डिज़ाइन किया है सो दैट यू कैन लर्न द बेस्ट फ्रॉम दैट. ओके. बिकॉज देखो हिस्ट्री में रिसर्चेस चलती रहती हैं. अभी तमिलनाडु की जो एनसीईआरटीज हैं दे आर मोर इंपॉर्टेंट इन कंपेरिजन टू द रीसेंट हिस्ट्री देन द प्रीवियस हिस्ट्री जो कि आर एस शर्मा वगैरह, सतीश चंद्रा या फिर बिपिन चंद्रा ने लिखी हैं. That's why we are covering all the NCERTs and that's why 100+ सेशंस हो जा रहे हैं टोटल मिला के. देन 30+ वैल्यू एडेड आपको डॉक्यूमेंट मिलने वाले हैं, डेडिकेटेड आंसर राइटिंग सेशन मिलेंगे, जूम सेशंस भी करेंगे बाद में ताकि आप लोगों की जितनी भी डाउट्स हों विद रिस्पेक्ट टू लर्निंग दे कुड बी सॉल्व्ड. ओवरऑल जो है आपको क्लास की पीपीटीज मिलेंगी, कंसेप्ट लिस्ट मिलेगा, PYQs, जितने भी PYQs हैं उनको अच्छे से हमने डिज़ाइन कर दिया ताकि आप सब उनको अच्छे से पढ़ सकें. माइंड मैप मिलेंगे पूरे सिलेबस के, वर्कबुक और लर्निंग असाइनमेंट्स मिलेंगे, एंड सेल्फ असेसमेंट टेस्ट, सो दैट वंस यू लर्न समथिंग तो साथ में उसको एटलीस्ट इवेल्युएट भी करना चाहिए ना कि भाई हमें कुछ समझ में आया भी है नहीं आया, एटलीस्ट जितना रिक्वायर्ड है वहाँ तक पहुँचे हैं या फिर नहीं पहुँचे हैं. तो आपको करना क्या है, वट वी नीड टू डू दैट, सबसे पहले आप रजिस्टर कर लीजिए. ठीक है. आपको एक स्पेसिफिक गूगल शीट मिलेगा, उसमें आप रजिस्टर कर लीजिए. देन एज ऑल ऑफ अस अंडरस्टैंड हर किसी के पास लिमिटेड स्लॉट्स हैं, तो आपको एक स्पेसिफिक कॉल आएगा एंड दैट इज समथिंग विच वी आर कॉलिंग एट स्क्रीनिंग प्रोसेस. बिकॉज अगर हमें आपको ये सारी सर्विसेज प्रोवाइड करनी है, द नंबर ऑफ स्टूडेंट्स विच वी कैन हेल्प दे आर ऑलवेज लिमिटेड इन नेचर. सो अकेडमिक काउंसलर इज गोइंग टू कॉल यू, दे गोइंग टू हेल्प यू आउट, दे गोइंग टू अंडरस्टैंड आपकी रिक्वायरमेंट क्या है. हो सकता है आप कॉलेज के फर्स्ट ईयर में हो, सेकंड ईयर में हो, थर्ड ईयर में हो, और यू मे हैव ऑलरेडी प्रिपेयर्ड फॉर सम टाइम एंड यू आर नॉट गेटिंग द डिजायर्ड रिजल्ट. तो इसलिए हमें स्क्रीनिंग प्रोसेस चाहिए होगा. एंड फाइनली ऑन द basis of this, you're going to get the benefit of this program.